Most people have heard of good gut bacteria, but what is the science behind these bugs, gut health, and why does it matter? So these bugs, these good gut bacteria, ferment all of our food waste. This is our food waste that reaches the gut after having been through our previous digestive processes. So what's left should be natural food waste, and this is a source of food for our gut bacteria that they can ferment and naturally produce unhelpful gases such as short-chain fatty acids. And these positive healths around the body. First and foremost, we might understand that they can have local health benefits. By influencing these gut bacteria, we can help to ward off unhelpful symptoms, so symptoms of IBS, for example, bloating, discomfort, altered bowel habits. But actually, these short-chain fatty acids can have benefits beyond the gut, and they can really influence both our physical and our mental health. We have what's called a gut-brain axis, and this is a really intelligent pathway of communication, and 90% of the communication actually comes from the gut to the brain. There's a lot of information getting translated there. So this is why the health of the gut is so important. Your gut communicates with the brain via chemical communications, physical communications with the vagus nerve, and also via hormones and neurotransmitters such as serotonin. Serotonin is our happy hormone, but it's very concentrated in the gut. So everything we can do to influence the gut environment is going to translate elsewhere around the body. Inflammation markers are another important one to consider. So how happy your gut is, and how digestive functions are happening. So I talk a lot about this, that we need to make sure our food is broken down into its very simplest units. We need strong stomach acid. We may need to use herbs to influence those gastric secretions and make them strong, because if our food isn't broken down properly, the molecules are too big. This can create inflammatory markers, your immune system gets hyped up, and this can also be correlated with disease states as well. So how can we influence these gut bacteria and make them healthy? So we want good digestive processes, and this starts way before the gut. So the earlier processes, we're thinking stomach, strong stomach acid, even before that in the mouth. So we want good chewing processes happening. We want to relax when we're eating, so your rest and digest processes can operate to their full potential. We want to sit up straight. Posture is important, so your gastric secretions are able to flow, your tummy muscles are able to churn, and we can ultimately break down the food as well as we possibly can. Don't drink with your meals. We want to separate drinks by at least 15 minutes. These gastric secretions are purposely strong, highly acidic. We don't want to dilute those even with water. We want a variety of plant-based foods. So fibre and plant-based foods that act as prebiotics are able to feed our gut bacteria directly, and they're able to ferment them. We want our gut bacteria to ferment these lovely natural plant-based foods. If we introduce unnatural options for them, such as artificial sweeteners for one, which often end up in the gut, then they ferment and they produce byproducts that aren't so helpful. We want those lovely short-chain fatty acids produced from these natural sources of fibres and foods for them. Research shows that a variety of plant-based foods directly translates into a variety of gut bacteria. We want a wide variety as possible of gut bacteria, as this is optimal for health. We can aim for 30 different plant-based foods as a nice target across the week, and this includes all your whole grains, your fruits, your vegetables, your spices. We work these into all our meals and snacks. We can often have a really good go at making that target of 30. Other things to consider include stress. So stress directly shuts down your digestive processes. Alcohol, caffeine, artificial sweeteners can have negative effects on the balance of your gut bacteria. These all risk triggering your internal stress response and ultimately affect your digestive processes. Gentle exercise and movement is very effective for your gut bacteria diversity and your digestive system in general. It reduces stress. Getting outside to do exercise is positive for influencing a healthy gut microbiome, and moving more is favourable in terms of the motility of the gut as well. Constipation can be a big risk factor for dysbiosis. Additives are often added to food to stop them going bad, to stop bad bacteria getting in or having an effect on the food, but these can also have a negative impact on your internal balance of bacteria. Then artificial sweeteners, they're often marketed as low calorie. This means you don't absorb them, they get to the gut, you excrete them, but they're going to influence your gut bacteria whilst they're there. They'll ferment on them, and it's not natural. So I hope this has been a helpful roundup of how our gut bacteria are so important, how how the bigger topic of gut health is so important to our overall health, and just some tips in terms of nutrition, diet, lifestyle, what you can do to try and create a positive influence on your good gut bacteria.